registered dietitian here. Welcome to Topic Nutrition Tuesday. I think we're live here. I see some of you on here. I hope you can hear me. I'm wearing my microphone today. So if you can't hear me, let me know. Let's see, I'm going to check my phone to make sure we have sound. Okay, we got sound. So thanks for joining me again. My name is Mona Cabrera. I'm the registered dietitian of the Hogue Lifestyle program here in Foothill Ranch. And so today we are going to be talking about foods that are best to avoid if you suffer from arthritis. I see a few more of you pop on. Thanks for joining. I always appreciate you guys joining me today. And if you've missed any of our topics, you can always look through the library. And one more thing, if you're new to our channel here at Hogue Health, you can hit the subscription button below, and that way you'll get notifications. Share it with your friends and family. We like to reach as many people as we can in our community. So we have a lot of things going on here at Hogue Foothill Ranch. We have exercise classes. We do cooking demos on Wednesday, so I'll be back here tomorrow with an easy cooking demonstration. And every other Tuesday we have a nutrition topic. So thanks for joining me again. So we are going to be talking about arthritis. So if you're watching, you probably either have it or you know somebody that suffers from arthritis, and it's painful. And so let's talk about foods that we should be avoiding, and we'll talk just a little bit about foods to eat for arthritis. And there's no cure for arthritis, so no dietary cure, but research has shown if you decrease certain foods, you reduce your severity of your symptoms. So the main symptom of arthritis is the joint pain and stiffness. You get swelling and tenderness, so in one or more of your joints. And it does worsen with age, and so the most common types are osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. So those are the most common. So the rheumatoid arthritis is like an autoimmune response, and your osteoarthritis is a non-inflammatory response, and this one is more common than the rheumatoid arthritis. So let's talk about how we can decrease our symptoms and improve our overall quality of our life. So the number one is added sugars. So you've heard this probably a lot. Added sugars, yes. So whether you have arthritis or not, we should be limiting our added sugars in our diet. So where's that? So first of all, your liquids. If you're drinking soda, any sweet beverages, any sweet drinks, really to minimize those. Condiments. Condiments have a lot of hidden sugars, and we just go about creating our meals and we don't even realize how much sugar we're adding from our condiments. So maybe it's your barbecue sauce, maybe it's a salad dressing you're using. So really look at your condiments that you're adding to your food. So because you got this healthy salad maybe that you have, and then you drenched it in all this added sugar. So it's a big source of added sugars, your dressings and condiments, barbecue sauce, ketchups, things like that. Cereals. There's a lot of hidden sugars in our cereals, so make sure you are reading your food labels. I want everyone to be a food label reader, because it's very important to know what you are getting in your food. Otherwise, you may go around thinking that you're not eating a lot of added sugars, but if you looked at your food labels, you'll see that they're high in sugar. So desserts, very obvious, right? Very high in sugars. So let's say you're a soda drinker. There's a lot of options these days on the shelf for better options. Number one is water. Number two, you could do fruit-infused water. You could also do fruit with lemon. Mint water, I love mint water in the summer. It's very refreshing, or cucumbers. And then there's also like sparkling waters if you like a little bit of flavor without the calories, without the added sugars. There's a lot of sparkling flavored waters on the shelf today. So reducing those added sugars. And it's, your ice creams, your cakes, your pastries, your muffins, things like that. And so ways around that would be to get some simple dessert recipes that you can make at home. And I do have a lot of those on our channel where there's a lot of them don't have added sugars. Sometimes I'll use dates for the sweetness. So there's a lot of things that you can make if you like desserts but are not going to be high in added sugars. Because what's life without dessert, right? So you can still enjoy something sweet, but if you prepared it yourself, you're going to reduce the amount of added sugars. So that's the first one, is added sugars. And, besides arthritis, like I said, whether you have arthritis or not, you should be minimizing your added sugars in your diet. We know it can lead to excessive weight gain. We know it could lead to high blood sugars, eventually diabetes down the road. It could, increase cholesterol. So whether you have arthritis or not, it's good to limit our added sugars. So number 2 is our processed meats. So some research has linked that red meat and processed meat can cause inflammation, which can increase your arthritis symptoms. So in this case, pull back on your processed meats, and you can increase more plant-based proteins, maybe your beans, legumes, tofu, edamame, and then also your fish. So you don't have to go for processed meats and red meats, but you could choose fish, white meats. Let's see what else. Lentils, I mentioned that. Nuts and seeds. So pulling back on your processed meats, maybe you're using that for a protein source, and introducing more of our plant-based proteins. That would be a way to substitute healthier protein options versus your processed meats. And processed meats, like our deli meats, can be high in sodium as well. Number 3 is gluten-containing foods. So I'm sure you didn't want to hear that one. Gluten is in a lot of our products, but now the market is saturated with so many options for gluten-free products. So let's say you're a pasta lover. Some substitutions would be doing more of a vegetable-based pasta, like your zoodles or spaghetti squash. But there's also pastas out there that are made from chickpeas. So there's gluten-free pastas out there. There's even pastas made from artichoke hearts. So a lot of gluten-free options. You can take out pasta and use quinoa for your carbohydrates, or potatoes and sweet potatoes. If you're a bread lover, there's a lot of gluten-free breads out there. A lot of people are using sweet potatoes as like a sliced sweet potato as a bread slice. So we can get really creative when we're trying to pull out some gluten in our diet. And if you're not familiar with gluten, it's a group of proteins found in your wheat, barley, and rye. So it is in a lot of products. And the research has shown that the gluten can cause increased inflammation. And so they suggest going gluten-free or pulling out some gluten from your diet. So, and when you try to reduce like desserts and pastries and like muffins and things like that, you will be decreasing your gluten intake as well. So again, there's a lot of vegetables out there. There's a lot of fruits out there, whole plant-based foods out there that you can use when you're trying to pull out gluten from your diet. So let's see if there's any questions. I don't see anything. Okay, thanks for joining. I see lots of you joining. Thank you. So the next one we should try to reduce as much as we can are the highly processed foods. So if you have something that can really sit on the shelf for a long time, that's in a package, like a processed food, you know it's highly processed, right? Lots of preservatives in these foods. And so reducing the amount of processed foods, whether it's like fast food, frozen foods, pizzas, baked goods, cereals again. These are all filled with refined grains, sugars, preservatives, and potentially other harmful ingredients. So it's really important when you do buy something in a package to read that food label. You're going to become that food label reader. So reducing our highly processed foods. So in addition, you know, when you do eat a lot of processed foods, it can worsen your overall health and increase your risk for other chronic diseases. So it's definitely a win-win. So read those labels and know what you're buying. The market is also saturated with healthier options for everything these days. Lots of lower sugar items, healthier ingredients, more organic, non-GMO. Really look at that food label and see if it's a short list, the better, right? If there's a long list of ingredients, look at those, see if you can recognize what's in your product, and that's really important. If it's a lot of stuff that you don't know, it's probably a lot of chemicals, preservatives, things like that, so put that one back on the shelf. So we should be focusing on more of our whole food, more plant-based foods, because we're talking about all these things that we need to pull out, right? So we're going to incorporate a lot more of our whole foods. Okay, so I'm going to check if there's any questions. Nothing? Perfect. Okay. So the next one is alcohol. So we know alcohol can worsen your arthritis symptoms. So also, like if you have gout, can also increase the severity of your gout attacks. So like I said before, increasing our water intake, sparkling waters if you do enjoy alcohol, wine, really reducing the amount that you drink. And I find that there's a good tip that I always tell my patients that do really like to enjoy alcohol is try to reduce the alcohol by half. And then in between, drink sparkling water that you enjoy. Oftentimes, most times it works if they really are able to decrease the amount of alcohol they drink, because sometimes it's just that they want something in their hand to drink, and that sparkling water is a good substitution. So let's say you usually drink 2 glasses of wine when you're socializing. Maybe you can go to 1 glass of wine and slowly decrease the amount that you drink or the frequency that you drink alcohol, and it's going to really help reduce your symptoms of arthritis. Okay, so next one, nobody ever likes to hear that one, but that's the truth. So next one is vegetable oils. So they're in a lot of our foods. When you eat out, you get lots of vegetable oil. Maybe you're still cooking with the vegetable oil. They have the ratio of the fats, the omega-3s to the omega-6, is not balanced. And we need more about the omega-3s in our diet. But unfortunately, with the Western diet, we get more omega-6s because of the vegetable oils. So really picking a healthier option for your oils now, your olive oil, maybe avocado oil, walnut oil. There's a lot of options that are healthier, that are high omega-3s versus our vegetable oil. Also increasing omega-3s from eating fatty fish like your salmon, eating nuts like walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts. You're going to get more omega-3s. And those omega-3s have a very protective effect against arthritis symptoms. Okay? So really reducing vegetable oils, and that comes with processed foods, eating out, foods already prepared. So really focusing on whole foods, cooking more at home, and reading those food labels. Okay? The next one Oh, am I getting static? I'm sorry, is it staticky still? Can you guys confirm if you still hear static? Okay, how am I now? Can you hear me? Let me know. I apologize for that. It's good? Okay, so you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. Maybe this turned off. I was talking about our vegetable oils. Okay, so I will just repeat a little bit that we were talking about vegetable oils. They are higher in our omega-6 versus our omega-3s fatty acids, and the omega-3s are protective against arthritis symptoms. So vegetable oils, the ratio of the omega-6 to the omega-3 is unbalanced, too high for us, and a lot of the foods out there in restaurants and things like that are cooked in not the healthier oils for us, like olive oil and avocado oil, walnut oil. They do use more vegetable oils sometimes. So trying to introduce more omega-3s from your diet. You have control over what you can eat. More fatty fish. Worse. Okay. I'm going to take this off. This is not working. I'm going to take off the speaker. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. Let me know now. Can you guys hear me better? We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to backtrack again to the vegetable oil. How is it? Is it okay? Somebody let me know. Much better. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I took that off. We won't use that. So I'll just speak really loud here. We were talking about vegetable oils. So reducing the amount of vegetable oils in our diet. So the thing with vegetable oils is they're higher in omega-3s than the omega-6s than the omega-3s. And the omega-3 fatty acids are going to protect us from our arthritis symptoms. So when you cook using more olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, walnut oil, is going to be better. Increasing fatty acids from foods, fatty fish like salmon, your nuts, walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts. So you can increase your omega-3s from your diet, decreasing the vegetable oils, and it's going to be like from eating out. They don't unfortunately use healthy oils for us because they are more expensive. So eating out, fast foods, you know, it's in pastries and all these things that we've mentioned, processed foods, anything in a package. So really reading that food label is going to give you an idea of the oils they're using. So reducing the vegetable oils and increasing fatty fish. If you love tofu, having more tofu. So that's the thing with vegetable oil. Okay, I just looked over here. Yes, better but echoey. Okay, I'm gonna get closer. I hope this helps, sorry. Tomatoes are fine, absolutely. There was a question about that. All vegetables and fruits, that was the next thing I was gonna get to. So you can eat any fruits and vegetables. Some people are just sensitive to certain vegetables that don't make them feel good. Then of course you don't want to eat anything that doesn't make you feel good. So if you can pinpoint that to something, maybe it's acidic and you don't feel good. But a lot of them have antioxidants, very protective compounds that are going to help fight diseases, fight that inflammation. That's the key thing, is fighting inflammation. So there's nothing wrong with tomatoes. There's a lot of things on the internet that I've seen that have mentioned tomatoes, but there's no research to back that up. So the last one I wanted to mention was foods high in salt. So trying to minimize your salt. So that again is anything like canned foods, really looking for no sodium added, low sodium,
frozen foods, processed foods, frozen meals, eating out. We can get more than our whole day's worth of sodium from one meal when we eat out. So just really reducing the sodium intake in our diet is going to help you. And you can also take note, like if you have arthritis and you have these symptoms and this pain that you're living with, you can keep a food journal and take note of what you've eaten. So let's say you wrote down, I went out to eat with a friend today, this is what I ordered, and then you started noticing that you didn't, you had more pain. So you're going to see that's not good for you. Eating out, that high salt, you're very sensitive to that. So take note, sometimes journaling, if we don't write it down, we won't remember what we ate yesterday. So if you can journal, that will help you pinpoint a little bit more what is bothering you, okay? So foods to eat. Okay, so now we talked about things that really increase the severity of our arthritis symptoms. Eating more toward whole foods, plant-based foods is going to make you feel better. So a diet rich in vegetables and fruits. Fruits, a lot of the fruits like your berries, your dark purples, your blueberries, your blackberries, your deep rich purple vegetables have compounds that really help fight the arthritis symptoms. So it could be purple cabbage, eggplant, all these deep purples, purple cauliflower, but any fruit or vegetable is going to be your best bet. So just eating a diet richer in vegetables and fruits versus something that is processed is going to be your way to really help you control your severity of your symptoms. Any of the, like even grapes, your fruits, all fruits are gonna have compounds that are gonna help fight inflammation, but your deep purple ones, your cherries right now are in season, super rich. Grapes, so eating lots of garlic, lots of ginger, these foods have a lot of properties that again help fight inflammation. Broccoli sprouts are small broccoli that are very high in vitamins and minerals and anti-inflammatory properties. So definitely you want to change your diet as you go, and of course you don't want to feel restricted in any way. So I always tell my clients, if there's something that you really want to enjoy, then enjoy it in a small amount, so you don't feel like you're not eating your favorite food, because nobody wants to live in such a restriction. But if you suffer from a lot of the symptoms and a lot of pain, then you can change your diet as much as you want to help fight your pain, your inflammation, your pain, that your joint stiffness, whatever you feel every day, the swelling, the tenderness in your bones. So you can change your diet. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can change if you look at your diet. And so I just really encourage patients that have arthritis, have a couple cups of vegetables at every meal. If you don't eat any vegetables, start with one meal and slowly add in a couple cups of vegetables at your diet. And like we said, less red meat, less processed meats, more plant-based foods, legumes, beans, fatty fish, salmon, nuts and seeds. These are all going to have properties that are going to fight inflammation, that help reduce your severity of your symptoms. So that is a little wrap up on arthritis and foods to eat. And the main thing is, anything that you buy in a package, I'm going to reinforce this, anything in a package is not a whole food. So read your food label. And I'm not talking about a bag of beans or a bag of lentils. That's a whole food. But anything with a package, read the label, see what's in it, how much added sugars is in it. You'll see on the label, it says added sugars. You know, anything over 5 grams of sugar is going to be on the higher end. So you want to keep the added sugars to a minimum. Okay? Gonna check. Okay. There is a lot that I didn't cover today, but I will be doing more talks on arthritis. If you do suffer from arthritis, talk to your physician, get in an appointment with a dietitian. I see our patients here out in Hogue Foothill Ranch. So you want to speak to somebody if you are having a lot of pain, and the dietitian can go over your diet and specifics and see what's going on and help you with that for sure. Okay. Any other questions? Like I said, tomorrow I'll be back doing, it's a vegetable recipe, and it's simple and it's fun and it's kid friendly and high in fiber. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. It's going to be fun and easy. I'm going to be using the air fryer, but if you don't have an air fryer, don't worry about it. You can also use your oven. So thanks for joining. That was just a little wrap up on things to avoid if you're having arthritis symptoms. Hope to see you guys all next week, and then tomorrow for my cooking demo. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.